Got a problem on. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. All right. All right. See how this goes. Good evening. Hello. Blah, blah, blah. Back in the game tonight. I posted this chat early. Hey, Howard Cooper, thanks for showing up. Posted this earlier when the idea came up because there was a couple of conversations that I'd had, and I didn't want to forget, so I posted it earlier and said I'm going to do this tonight. What I didn't expect was for everybody to start. John Wayne, good to see you, man. Good to see you. What I didn't expect was how many people were going to start just going crazy on my phone. And half the people said, I have no idea what you're going to talk about, but I'm looking forward to. Half the people said, I know exactly what you're going to say, and I'm looking forward to it. And it was, gotta tell you, it was interesting because if anything, people who know me know I try to take views and give a unique spin on them, because a lot of times the way I see things isn't the way other people see them. Try to take and I just want to lead off by saying thanks for such a great tip-off. So many people who wanted to show up and so many questions I got. And I hope nobody takes it personal that I didn't tell them what I was going to talk about in any greater detail. It's just because I wanted to get all my thoughts together. This is the thing. This is a subject that a lot of people talk about, but I don't know if Brother Steven, Brother Truth Seeker, thank you. Make sure everybody here, make sure you click the like, share, and subscribe button. I talk about a lot of things here. I talk about life abroad. I've lived in a bunch of different countries. I talk about money because money is probably my favorite subject. I love money. Money gave me my freedom in life. Money is an amazing slave to have. Terrible master. Good evening, BK from the Rockies. Thank you for your support. Town Sheriff. I actually wrote down a few things that I knew would be important to go over tonight. I took a few things that had happened to me, that has happened to my friends, and I really wanted to give my view. And from the bubble I live in, as someone who lives in Brazil, has lived here for 5 years, permanent resident in Brazil, what dating Brazilian women is like. Because this was a question that was asked on, interestingly enough, my private Patreon group, which isn't necessarily about things like that, but it's all about generally business and money and a lot of the cold hard details that make up the life that I'm able to lead. What has happened is a place where everyone in my Patreon group feels completely comfortable asking me anything. I normally get asked information about cryptocurrency. I normally get asked information about the ability to live abroad. Flem Dice, thank you so much. And I'm going to show you guys my Patreon so that, first of all, I tell people Patreon is a lot less fun than YouTube. It's where I put a lot of the hardcore information for the things that got me where I am and that some of the men that I help need to get where they're going. So I'm not going to make you guys read through all this. I'm going to leave the link there and I'll put it up again later. And I appreciate anybody who stops by. Like button smash. Thank you. Thank you. Here, Howard, man, you're putting the pressure on me. You threw $10 in the jar before I even had a chance to open up. Now I feel pressure. I gotta perform now. Thank you for the $10. I put down about 5 things that I think are the things that people are really, really in need of knowing about dating Brazilian women. one of the first things I want to talk to you about is, as a concept, I don't believe Brazilian women see men as enlightened as American women do. And for the men that I know that have lived in both countries and prefer Brazil, we're happier for it. On a broad scale, this is not one of the 5 core points, but on a broad scale, in Brazil, because it's very family, or let me get something out of the way too, because I don't want these questions to come up, or if they do, I want them to be already addressed. I'm not here talking about any of the good time girls. I don't know anything about that life. If that's what you're into, that's fine. That's just not really what we're here for. I'm here for the guys that look for women they really want to put on the team, women that they can help. They can say at the very least, she's not costing me money, but she's going to maybe help me protect the bag I've secured, you know. And I don't care if you're in a one-on-one relationship or a poly relationship. That's the kind of information I like to give. You know, I always looked at dealing with women, whereas I find most men I know look at women as the way the U.S. Special Forces hits a place. Hit them hard, get in, do a lot of damage, and leave. I'm more like the Roman legion. I want to get in, leave a base camp. My gods become your gods. You pay taxes to me. You look up to the same flags I do, and in return, you get to bear my name and that sigil on your chest to say I'm with him. And it's a long-term game plan. A lot of men aren't looking for those kind of women. And that's okay. This is just not for them. As I was saying, they don't look at us as enlightened as American women do. Here, you can get away with, I will protect and provide for you, and you'll be loyal and obedient to me. Now, there's lots of inferences in there, but I think that's an overall generality that I can make. I'm not telling you the American system is better or worse. It's just different. And I believe that everyone, particularly free people, should go where they feel like they are appreciated and get what they want. I don't care if it's Brazil or London or any other countries I've lived in. In no particular order, I'm going to go through some of these things that we talked about. I think a lot of men don't understand that in Brazil, if you get off the airplane looking for this amazing Brazilian woman to call your own, and you are a stereotypical American, and I'm going to just throw this out there first. I'm ready for the hate. Catch me in the comments. If you're fat, you're probably not going to do as well. I'm going to tell you why. Thank you. Thank you. Sometimes I think I'm smart. Then I realize I'm probably just got lucky with the words. Here's the reality. Brazilians are vain, men and women. In the United States, at 43 years old, I'm one of the oldest guys in the gym. Here, I routinely see guys that are retired in the gym getting in work. Some of them have these thin, lithe bodies like a boxer. Some have these giant bodies like an old mastodon. But here, being in shape matters. So when a woman is looking at you, not as Mr. One Night Stand, or you're not looking at a good time girl, but you're really looking at, hey, I'm looking at dating a Brazilian woman. I'm trying to give you these perspectives from the way they're approached by men. See, I'm not trying to give you a woman's perspective because I don't have a woman's perspective. I'm trying to give it to you like this. Here's what I see the way men approach women here, and the ones that are successful at it, that allow them to date Brazilian women. And you can call dating whatever you want. Generally speaking, these are men that exercise. These are men whose diet don't really consist of a whole lot of fast food. I'm not telling you they're all handsome. I'm not telling you they all got a six-pack like they do in the movies. But what I am telling you, it's more common than not that he has his shit together physically. He might just be a guy that exercises every other day. Maybe it's boxing, maybe it's jiu-jitsu, maybe it's yoga. I don't know. But I do know for certain that's a big one. When you're dating Brazilian women, the way you look, walking down the street in a t-shirt matters. It matters. They like having a guy that doesn't have his gut hanging over his. Now, and when you do see those men, you understand they have something to offer that's probably not. How can I say this? They're leading differently, and they're not going to be appreciated. Because here's the thing: when a man is in shape, it says, I respect myself first. That's one thing. When you're dating a Brazilian woman, you might want to check in on that and say, well, how do I look? Give yourself the mirror test, and whatever's wrong, fix it. It's not going to be easy, but you just fix it, people here are just in better shape. That's not necessarily true. People outside the United States are generally in better condition than people in other countries. The other thing is Brazilian men aren't afraid of women. I'm not saying American women are used to men who are terrified, but the average American woman hasn't had a man coming after her since she hit puberty. This other kid in high school, hey, what's your name? You got extra milk for me there? Blah, 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 blah. Brazilian men from a very early age are talking to women. They're talking to them. American men aren't used to that. Now, some of it is men's fault. Actually, whenever there's a problem with men, I off the bat say 80% of the problem is always a man's fault, because as men, we lead first ourselves and then everyone else. Yeah, brother Ty. Brazil is very fitness conscious. Hey, BK. Thanks. Learn about my background and some of the things that I've done professionally there. Yeah. People in other countries that are smaller, remember the U.S. food has a lot of salt and their sugar, definitely. So going back to that other issue, when you're in a situation where you don't know as an adult man the right way or the wrong way to walk up and start a conversation with a woman, you're going to lose. If your voice is shaky, if you can't look her in the eye, when you say, hey, what's your name? Blah, blah, blah. My name is YusefWateef, or my name is BK. My name is Real Brother. My name is Ty. If you have that tremor in your voice, because they'll give you that 30 seconds to make your case. Remember, these are women that have had men coming at them since they first hit puberty. So now, when you're an adult, if you don't know how or are afraid to talk to women, you're not going to get to date them. It's not going to happen. She's just not going to look at you. I mean, no woman in any situation wants to wait for a man to catch up. It doesn't work that way. You know, and I'm looking forward to other friends who have been in Brazil to chime in. Because something else that a lot of people don't catch on to is that whole friendship thing. I find that's a very American thing. You know, when they talk to a woman and, I just want to be friends. Friends? Women are not stupid. Brazilian women are especially not stupid about this. If you're a man who is not a coworker and you're talking to her downtown at the mall or at the supermarket getting some lettuce, you're not trying to talk to her to be her friend, and she's going to look at you and say, yeah, this guy, he's flaccid. He doesn't have what it takes to, I'm not even giving him that chance. But again, you want to date a Brazilian woman? This is what's going to happen. Remember your competition. Remember, these are women that have been having men come after them since puberty. Hey, what's your name? Blah, 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 blah. You do have that stiff competition. Dating a Brazilian woman is going to require you to have, even if you are a coworker. Well, I have always been against dating coworkers. I tell people all the time, don't do it. It's a bad idea. It's going to come back to bite you. But some men, hey, they want to fish off the company pier, as they say. Machismo is a word that I'm still trying to understand. Machismo is not to be confused with misogyny. Machismo is something that Brazilian men are taught at a very young age by their fathers and their uncles. It's a style of manhood that says, I have certain things that I'm going to stand tall on. Vote with your feet. There you go. Don't date at work. Brother Ty Cromwell, he said something critical. I didn't even make this one of my points. When Brazilian women are interested, you'll know. When they're not, you'll know. Yeah, they're not about saying things to save your feelings. They're not trying to be nice to you if they give you a rejection. If you're rejected, it's just, But what a lot of men are ready for rejection, as well we should be. You should always be ready to be rejected and just move on. But what a lot of men aren't ready for is when she says, okay, where do you want to go? If you don't have an answer for her, you've already lost. You're not going to get to date the Brazilian girl. If you can't say, my buddy just opened this chicken shack down the road, blah, 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 blah. If you can't say that, what's the point? Hold on a second. Did I just say chicken? Now, you know what? Let me show you guys something. Now, this was not a paid advertisement. This is just something that I'm sharing because I happen to know a man that opened an amazing place out here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Shout out to Jerky's Chicken. I've eaten the chicken. I've eaten the macaroni. I've eaten the beans and rice. This dude is legit. And maybe if I give him enough free promotion, I'll get some free chicken out of the deal. He already donated one since I gave him a big shout out. But if I got a free piece of chicken for every advertisement I gave him, he would have no chicken left to sell. Find this dude online. Find Jerky's Official. Find him on Facebook and Instagram. Tell him I sent you. I'm not nearly as concerned with rejecting Brazilian men as I am with rejecting American men. She's an American woman. Yeah, Brazilian men, they have that thing where they're just like, oh, this is not working out. Got to go talk to the other girl. Whereas American men, they get stuck on that. Vote with your feet, don't do that. Oh, do older Brazilian women exercise? Yes. In the USA, women over 40 years of age are generally overweight. Well, let me tell you something, MG. Here's your problem. Most Americans are overweight at all ages. If you are simply not overweight, you have already beaten 80% of your competition. So yeah, in the gym, I definitely see older Brazilian women. By older, I mean women over 50. Yes, I see them. If you don't know how to talk to women as a grown man, something has gone horribly wrong. You know what? We're going to have a different conversation about this. I agree something has gone wrong. But a lot of times when you have conversations with these men, a lot of the things that have gone wrong weren't things that they could have had anything to do with. When you're talking to men who, as an adult, never had a positive masculinity, a positive form of male aggression to show them how to behave, a man who taught them that the way they feel as men is not bad. In fact, men's attraction towards women is a good thing that needs to be focused. These guys grew up handicapped. And they find out very quickly that women don't have time to teach you anything, and they don't really have compassion if you're not the man they're attracted to. Why, yes, I am trying to get more birthday jerk chicken. Y'all getting me off my list now. Hold on, my list. Boom, boom, boom. Where was I? Oh, if she says to you, yeah, where do you want to go? You need to be able to say, hey, let's go down here Saturday night or Friday night, or what time do you get off work? If you don't, you seem unprepared. And again, Brazilian men understand their competition as Brazilian men. They know that just like he looked at this woman and saw she was attractive, and I want to date this chick, so did the guy before me, and so will the guy after me. I need to be ready. I need to come, hey, what's your name? Let's go have some Jerky's chicken. You ready? Oh, did I hit one? Boom, boom. Okay, let's go. If you're not, it's gonna be a hard uphill battle. What else do I have written down here? I'll tell you something that I have not seen that really how do you describe the absence of something? I haven't seen men arguing with women publicly here. I'm not saying men and women don't argue. What I'm telling you is that I haven't been at the mall or downtown, listening to jazz on the street. You routinely see women get excited and get emotional and start yelling. For the most part, the guys either give her the, hey, calm down look, and she calms down, or they just bail. They just literally will just turn around, put the hand up, and just start walking. You can pay for dinner. I'm not even, and I appreciate that, because what they don't do is fall into that beta male, feminized man thing of I'm going to argue with you publicly and yell at you like I'm a girl too. I'm sure all couples have arguments at home. That's just a given. Any couple that tells you they don't have disagreements and arguments is just lying and should not be trusted. They're going to kill each other. But you don't see that on the street here. Because when she puts you to that test publicly, when she says something that she knows is out of order and she says it loud with an attitude in her voice, the wrong thing to do for most men, you want to continue dating this woman, you want to have a shot at earning her respect or keeping your dignity or keeping, your relationship going under the right terms. I don't see these guys lowering themselves and debasing themselves and having these screaming matches out in public. You want to date a Brazilian woman? Hey, you can't get into it like that. You have to say, listen, I'm a man, and that's not how I'm going to handle this. So I'm going to let you stay here and scream. I'm going to just take off. I've seen a lot of American guys fold. I've seen a lot of American guys fold like a cheap deck of cards. I mean, you see it in their eyes when they get emotional along with this woman, and she's yelling and they're yelling and everybody's just feeling real awkward about it. Let me be clear. Most people don't get awkward when a woman starts yelling. It's just something that women do. I'm not angry at women for being women. I'm not mad at eagles for flying and bears for climbing trees and eating honey. But when you see men start to behave that way, it feels yucky. Yeah, it feels yucky. It feels very yucky. BK said, side note, machismo is like masculine swagger. I like that definition, in my opinion. Basically, doing grown man shit as normal. You know what? We need to refine that and get it on a t-shirt. Doing grown man shit as normal. How many? We got to figure that out. Vote with your feet, yeah? And, hold on. Ty said, Brazilian men think that American men are weak with our attitudes towards women. You do find that. Now, that's something I didn't put on the list. Here's the difference, right? I don't find any of the Brazilian guys that I hang out with at all threatened by American men. They don't see American men as a threat. They do see some of the guys that come from like the Middle East as a threat. They see some of the guys that come from places like Germany as a threat, because those guys would just lay out a bankroll and be like, look, I'm gonna buy you a house and a car. You want to go with me? And that's hard to compete with, right? And I'm not gonna be angry at women for wanting that. But as far as American men, they're like, yeah, good luck with that. You can go and talk to my girl if you think you're gonna get away with it. MGS here. In Brazil, it is acceptable for older men to date younger women, meaning can a guy in his mid-40s date a woman who is in her 20s without the weird stares from people? Here's the problem. The fault lies in the question. If you can simply decide as a man in your 40s, I'm going to have a girlfriend who's 19 years old, the stares don't matter. People stare at me all the time for various reasons. I just don't see it anymore. I decided, what did CeeLo Green say? I'll be around. If they can't keep my name out of their mouth, I'm going to give them something to talk about. I'll be around. That's me. Like, I'm that guy. Like, when you look at me for being who I am, I'm going to make you angry that I had the balls to do it. Date any woman you want. If the woman next to you, if the women with you are happy, why do you care? Most people don't like me. Most people don't like you either, but you probably don't know that. Most people don't like me. I'm only looking for the ones that can get along. Who are you looking for? Surround yourself with other men who have the balls to be the man that they want to be instead of the ones that are socially acceptable. Conway, generalization, but true. MG. Here's fam. You can date any woman you're interested in as long as she's legal. There you go. There you go. You'll find, here's what I've seen. The people who have a problem with you aren't going to be women. They're going to be men who aren't attractive to any women in any age. They're going to be those men who look at you and say, how come a young woman in her prime wants to be with you? That's not right. And I'm going to find a reason to, and you just ignore those guys. It's just like, you ever see a big dog walking down the street and they hear the little dog and they just like, whatever. That's you. Brazilian people take better care of themselves. Age is a lot harder to determine. That's true. Like I said, out here, that guy you think might be 40, might be 50. If he's one of the grizzly cats at the gyms I work out at, he might have been putting in those reps on the squat rack, doing those push-ups and sit-ups. So when you see him walking next to that girl who's 20, but she might be 25, and he looks 40, but he's in fact 50, that's just like we talked about earlier. Over 30 in the chat, hit the like button. That's the first time I've ever heard that. Well, thank you. Let's see what Brother Steven says. It's perfectly normal to see older men with younger women here. Yeah. I don't know that people care. That's the thing. I know that in all countries, decent people care whether or not everyone is legal, but I don't find people having conversations about, that guy. Now, maybe it's me. The guys I run with wouldn't care anyway, so people probably wouldn't come to me with that kind of nonsense. But Brother Craig Washington, thank you for showing up. I always appreciate you. If you think it's a weird scenario, then you need to what's good for you. You might have to retype that, brother. I'm not. Then you need to what's good for you. Don't know what that means. The beauty of Sao Paulo, it's Sao Paulo, S-A-O, Sao Paulo. Whatever it is you're looking for, you'll find it. Yeah. That's a little off topic about dating Brazilian women, but yeah, whatever you're looking for, you'll find it. You know, they'll give you enough rope to hang yourself or have fun with. Where was I? Let's see. And I went over the whole not being emotional and yelling. The other thing I have found here, okay. If you think that's a weird scenario, then you need to do what's good for you. There you go. I asked that question to get an understanding of the customs and culture of Brazil. Hey, you know what? I would say you can learn a lot, but I want you to come on down. I want you to spend some time in Brazil. I'm not telling you to move here like I did, but I will say Brazil is a great place to consider visiting. Try to give yourself as long as you can. I know a lot of Americans only get 2 weeks, but if you can negotiate or hustle your way into longer, come to Sao Paulo, fly into Sao Paulo and fly out of Sao Paulo. Come here, spend 2 or 3 days with me. I can ship you off to some of my other friends in some other cities, and you can have, maybe if you can get 2 or 3 weeks, you can really get a feel for the country. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show everybody something. This is my LinkedIn profile, and everyone here is welcome to join me there, okay? On LinkedIn, you find me professionally, and I want to show you what I do. I do expat relocation services as one of my companies, and I help people with their visas, residency permits, short-term, long-term, processing their Brazilian ID cards, CPF numbers, all those things that are boring but necessary to really enjoy your time here and do it all legally. That's what I do, and I tell people all the time, it's not fun and it's not fast, although there are a lot of people who will tell you, I can do it quickly and I can guarantee you'll get it. That's all bullshit. It's a process. It's a lot of paperwork, but that's what I do. Before you decide to do business with me, I want everybody to scroll down to the recommendation section. See, the recommendation section is where business people write under their name, under their face, under their profession, who I am and that I'm worth doing business with. They say that guy is legit. Read those first. That'll tell you that I am somebody who you can deal with when you want to come to Brazil. As a matter of fact, I'll put it here. Add me on LinkedIn. Boom. All right. So what did we say? Al said it's usually women who are judged for dating younger men. The other way around has always been more acceptable. I've seen that here. But I'm not a woman, so I don't know the kind of conversations that people have with a woman who does that. So, Kim W., what are your thoughts between power dynamics between older men and younger women here in Brazil? Subservience, acquiescence, etc. Excellent question, Kim. I can't tell you that I see the power dynamic as defined by age. I know that some men, like me, I always go with the very specific model of, I want a woman who is loyal and obedient. In return, I will protect and provide. There are those men who use that power dynamic to better the lives of the women with them. I'll give you the campfire rule. This is what I was taught. If you're going to date and have a relationship with and have sex with a woman who is younger than you are, it is your ethical responsibility to make her life better, not worse. If you are an older man dating an older woman, why not give her the benefit of your business acumen? Why not give her the benefit of your professional circle? Why not give her the benefit of your decades of life that she hasn't had to show her what potholes she's going to trip in and show her not to trip in them? Or more importantly, when she does trip in one, you can say, hey, remember when I told you that was coming? Now, next time you know to listen to me. Women have no problem being subservient to or acquiescing to quality men. What you have is too many men asking for subservience and asking for acquiescence, not just in Brazil, but all over the world, who aren't really worth it. They're the men who spent no time physically bettering themselves, mentally bettering themselves through books and education. They spent no time bettering themselves by simply having something they can create with their 2 hands that they don't need other people for to feed themselves. Those men are average. Average is average because it's average. Those are average men. Above average men, yes, we get subservient women who acquiesce to us. Kim W., thank you so much for being part of this discussion. I hope you stick around. I'm looking forward to so many more of your questions and comments. Hey, Tijuana, Mexico. I never went to Tijuana. I spent a lot of time in Juarez, Mexico, when I was back in university and New Mexico State University, and back when it was a lot safer. So, of course you are. And you know what? We're going to hit the gym together. We're going to hit the gym together. Maybe do some kettlebell fun. You know what, everybody? I would be doing him a disservice. I want everybody to check out. Let's see. I want everybody to check out his Instagram. And just find it here. I'm going to have to pull up Instagram. He's got a great Instagram that really, sometimes, and he didn't know this, sometimes before I hit the gym, I have to take a look at it. Because he's not overbearing. He's not out there trying to tell people blah, blah, blah. And he just says, listen, this is me putting in the work. I want everybody, if you have the opportunity, I want you to follow Howard. I'm going to show you his page real quick. Professional fitness trainer, Army veteran. Love that headband. But I'm going to make fun of a man who's out there deadlifting like this, like a boss? Nah, player. And you can find him, boom, right here in the comments. I mistyped follow, sorry. Let's see, are Brazilian women being subservient, or are they just being very feminine because they're happy with the type of relationship they're in? Ooh, perhaps both. I always like to go with the third option, though. What if it's neither? They're just smart enough to know that if they do a few small things and are subservient and feminine, most men will just give them stuff for the rest of their life because we're okay with that. Let's Learn Spanish TV. Shout out from Cucuta, Colombia. I'm coming by to visit. Whenever all this world nonsense ends, I'm coming by to visit. BK from the Rockies. Feminism and acquiescence are two different things. Okay. Let's see. That's very interesting. Very comprehensive response. Thank you. Hey, that's what I'm here for. I give a lot of long-winded, in-depth responses to the things that I'm trying to talk about, and appreciate the shout out. Stay fit. Hey, every day. It's a journey. It's a journey. HC Fitness, 808. And he lives in Hawaii, where I used to live. Let me tell you something. Hawaii is probably one of the most amazing places on earth. If it wasn't so expensive, I'd live there instead of Brazil. But Brazil is a close, it's a tight second. It's a tight second. Good afternoon, Jordan. And let's see. He said he'll be in Medellin by the time this is over. Get a big couch, man, because I need to be comfortable when I come by. I'm not staying at an Airbnb. I'm hitting your couch. Let's just get that out of the way. I'll pay for the food because I eat a lot, but I'm staying on your couch. So those are the things that I think give me the best answers that I can give about dating Brazilian women. What I'll say here about femininity is how a woman views herself. Acquiescence is how she views her man. That's t-shirt worthy. That's t-shirt worthy. I think those are probably the 5 areas that I think are necessary when you talk about dating Brazilian women. When you look at the area and say, okay, we've got a woman who expects you to be confident when you talk to her. Have a plan when you say, hey, you want to go out? And she says, yes, have a place to go. You can't have a tremble in your voice. You've got to be a man that takes care of himself physically, because remember, your Brazilian counterparts, those other guys that want to date Brazilian women as well, they're doing all these things, except they're not learning them. These guys are getting it from birth. They're getting it from their dads and their uncles. They're getting it from the ground up. Oh, well, Al just had a great idea. You and I could have a whole discussion. We might have to do that. We might have to do that. We might have to have a full discussion on that and bring some women in as well. So I say that to say this. I appreciate all of you for stopping by. I hope to make sure that no matter when you listen to this, no matter where you are, you're safe. I want everybody to make sure that they add me on LinkedIn professionally. And I hope everybody finds a way to like, share, and subscribe. That's critically important. I want everybody to make sure that these discussions are had. Remember, the most interesting thing about today's discussion happened right before we went live. I spent the entire day having my phone calls, just my text messages, just jingle, jangle, jingle with people who thought they knew what I was going to talk about. I'm not here to give you what you asked for. I'm here to give you what you want and what you need. Not always the same thing. Not always the same thing. No matter where you go in the world, you still have to be the man. As everyday rent is due, do the work. Preach. 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 So I say that to say this. MG asked, says, at Ty Karma, why have the black man like myself or not to attract the black women? Vote with your feet said, there's no one size fits all. Red Pill Neo. So I hope everybody has a great evening. Thank you all for stopping by. I've got a lot more Brazil-centric content coming up this week. I've got some candy for you. I hope everybody has a great evening. Thank you. Bye-bye. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And catch me on the Patreon as well.